All right, so once again, Assalamualaikum and good day to everyone. Today I am going to cover the topic of the cause and effect essay. This type of essay is very specific because the essay demands the writer or the author to explain both the reasons of a certain event or a certain situation and also the consequences of the event. And depending on how the writer writes the thesis statement of the essay, it could be an essay that only explains about the causes or an essay that only explains about the effects or an essay that explains about both causes and also the effects of the an event that happened. So cause and effect, and usually for the third type of cause and effects essay, where you write both the cause and the effects, usually the essay will be a little bit lengthy because authors need to explain both the cause and also the direct impact, the effects by the relationship. And some of the example that is given right here is the, why earthquake happens and what the consequences are, or what happens to a child after parents divorce. So you can explore on the cause and effects depending on the manner in which you wanted to focus on the cause and the effects. So you could probably see it from individual perspective or educational perspective or social perspective or even scientific perspective. Okay, so you could include that as a manner in which you put the cause and also the effects in the essay. What caused the situation, and then it leads to what kind of result. Okay, and we sometimes face difficulty to differentiate between the cause and the effect, because when we wanted to define the cause of something, we will ask the reasons why. Why does this happen? And when we wanted to talk about the effect, we will ask what had happened due to something that happened, due to the event that happened before. So the cause and the effect, and usually they are linked together or directly linked together. And hence, the preparation stage for cause and effect essay is crucial in a sense that I would usually suggest my students to, when you do the brainstorming, okay, the thinking of the ideas, when you do the brainstorming for cause and effects essay, you create like two different columns, cause and effect. It has to be like linked together. Rather than usually for a standard essay, we will use mind mapping. But for mind mapping, your ideas are like everywhere. You put it under balloons or you put it under the circle and you draw like a tree or you draw the fishbone or whichever the style that you like for the brainstorming. But for cause and effects essay, it's important that you truly define the cause and the effect, cause, effect, cause, effect. So in terms of, non-linear representation, a table would be best. Cause next to the effect, next to each other. So after the cause and the effect, for each of the cause and the effects, you could also include one example for each. This is what happened and this is the results, or this is the effect. And it should be very organized, because from the point of view of a reader, if you mention about the cause and then the effects is nowhere to be found, or the effect is put in a different paragraph, or it's not directly informed during the stage of writing for that specific cause, we will get confused. So you also need to decide if the writing's purpose is to inform about the situation, or if you want to persuade your reader to agree with your point of view. Let's say the questions just now that is put in the very first few slides on the cause of earthquake and also the effects of earthquake. So we would want to persuade people to know more about the SDG, know more about the environment, like learning about what is happening to the climate change and what is happening to the world, and especially earthquake is not just going to affect a single area. Like if we were to look at the very example that happened to Malaysia in the previous months, like within this year. So the earthquake happened in the neighboring country, but the effects is still felt in our country. So it does not mean that when we hear that there's an earthquake somewhere on this planet, not my country, not my problem. So we should not be having that kind of stance. So as an author, if our intention is to persuade everyone to make sure that they are interested and they are aware and they know that if let's say the earthquake happens, what should they do, or the precaution, or what can they do to help collaboratively work together to prevent things from happen, or at the very least, what can you do when disaster strikes? So look at your intention. Do you want to inform or do you want to persuade? So concentrate on the most recent and also direct causes, because if we give example that are like from a long time ago, where it may no longer be relevant to the present time. Okay, and firstly, recap, you state both cause and also the effect as clearly as you can. And to be sure, you show how the cause and the effects are related. Don't simply give cause and also the effects, but there is no explanation on how they are related. Because if that's the case, then this is not a cause and effect essay. It should be a separate essay altogether. So we use words such as why, when, because, as a result, so, therefore, thus, okay? Or you can even use in the end. So some of this transition signal that you may use to introduce to your reader about the cause and also the effects of the event that happened for the essay. So we go by the steps, distinguishing on the cause and the effect. Draw that table. Okay, draft your brainstorming. So why did this happen and what had happened because of this situation? So what's the cause and what's the effect? So you're out of gas, gas American for fuel. Okay, so you are out of fuel, okay, for your car. So the effect is your car won't start. Okay, and sometimes it may cause or contribute a single effect or many effects that may result from a single case. And then in addition, so there could also be effects that are snowballing, such as, first of all, you're out of gas or you're out of fuel, and then your car won't start. And because your car won't start, you have to make phone calls to people and then wait for help to come. And because of that, you are late to maybe a certain event that you should have been, okay, or you wanted to get somewhere, but because your car is out of fuel, you are not able to go. So those are the effects that snowballs. But if there is like a single effect, the car just won't start. Okay, singular effects. Okay. Depending on the manner in which you want to explain the paragraph, or causes that say. Like business in high school, salaries in the field are high. Let's say we have an aunt who is an accountant or someone who's good with numbers, and so we choose to major in accounting. So the courses, we would like business. Okay, personally, we enjoy business, and then we know that salaries in the field related to business are high. And then some of my family members are also accountant or are in the business. And I am also good with numbers. So these are the what leads to me making a decision that, oh, I want to choose a major in accounting. And these are the reasons why. Just now, we talked about how you can have one cause but multiple effects. And now you can also have multiple causes and just one effect. Because we like business, we like the salary, we like that our families are into accounting, and we are also good with numbers, we also enjoy it. So because of these many reasons, we enjoy accounting. Okay. In comparison to if let's say you have just one course, reduce work hours. Okay, let's say you are paid per hour, maybe a kind of part-time job. If you work for 1 hour, you will receive a minimum wage of 8 ringgit, 9 ringgit, okay, per 1 hour, depending on the nature of the work. It's like 1 hour, 8 ringgit. And if you reduce your work hour, of course, you will get less income, and then probably you will irritate your employer because maybe one day, oh, I can only work 2 hours today. So the employer will be irritated, like, can you work longer hours? Okay, or you can have more time to study, and also you can have more time for family and friends. So your part-time it only takes up just a few hours of the time of the day. Talking about part-time jobs, it really depends on what you agree with your employer. So if your employer has already agreed from the get-go that you can work for 2 hours, so it's not fair if the employer gets irritated, unless if you promise the employer, I can work 8 hours a day, but it turns out on that day you can only work for 4 hours, then the employer can get irritated. So really discuss the TNC, terms and condition of your working, if you are working part-time. Okay, moving on to developing the thesis statement. So once again, thesis statement is a sentence that clearly explain about the causes or the effects or even both. Which one is the best, to use causes or effects, or to mention both causes and effects? The answer to that question is depends on your intention, and in terms of examination, depends on the exam question. If the exam question clearly stated discuss about the cause, then the essay must be only about the cause. If the question says it should be explaining about effects, then the essay must be about the effects. And if the question asks writer to write both cause and effects, then you must explain both cause and effects. Because at the end of the day, an essay writing depends on what is expected by the question for examinations. But if you are writing for personal cause, or you are writing for the sake of blogging, or you are writing for your social media, or you are writing for your something that is not assessed, not an examination, then the writing style for the essay would be more open because you're the author, so you choose. However, in an examination where it is specific, you must talk about the cause, you must talk about the effects, you must talk about both. Then you have to follow what is expected by the examination. Introduce the main idea. You tell if you're going to talk about cause or effect or both. Okay, following that, I remember our table just now where we do the brainstorming of the cause and also the effects. Okay, now we find and organize the supporting details, which examples that you felt is relevant and also sufficiently explained, and make sure that they are arranged. Usually talk about the cause, what it is, explain it, then give an example. And you could choose by the chronological order, in the sense that you arrange them in a manner in which the event occurred, or you can go by the order of importance. Okay, so which one is the most important, which one is the least important, or you can also put them by the category. Whichever of the style that you wanted to arrange is entirely up to you. If you wanted to organize your essay to the chronological, you want to talk about what happened in this year, that year, or this month to next month, upcoming month. So you go by the chronological. And you can also put them under which one is the most important or which one that is by the category. For the category, you need to do a little bit of analysis where you have to create the category itself for the details. And the transition signals, as mentioned just now, the because, due to, on causes, another is, since, for, and you can also use first, second, third, fourth, fifth, as many as you wanted, because the numbers is at infinity. Well, your essay should not be infinity, by the way. 5 paragraphs only. Introduction, 3 paragraphs of the body, and also 1 conclusion. So in total, you should be writing 5 paragraphs. And followed by the effects, you can use the word consequently. As a result, thus, or resulted in. One result is, another is, therefore, hence. Okay, so you can use these words to signal for effects. So you can mention because or due to or on the cause, and then you go by the consequently or as a result within the same paragraph. And once again, to remember what is the purpose, you are going to inform or you want to persuade people. Focus on the immediate cause and then effects. Limit yourself to the causes that are close in time and also related, rather than all example or remote. If you want it to be more relatable, you can go by countries. Maybe you want to talk about situation that happened only in Malaysia or only in Klang Valley or only within the Asian region, okay, rather than generic or general to the whole planet. Okay, so that would be quite open lah. Okay. And then please strengthen also your essay by using the evidences. Define the terms if you must. You can also offer facts and statistics if you've done any reading on it, or if you know the percentage of awareness, or you know the percentage of perhaps of anything by the numbers, okay, as long as there is an example, followed by anecdotes on what word has been said by a person or a quote, any personal observation that could help you support the ideas. And qualifying, limit your statement about the cause and effects. And unless there is a clear evidence that the event is actually related, like this is the cause and this is the effect. Okay, you can use phrases such as it appears that the cause was, or it seems likely that this has been the effect of the situation. Or if you, let's say you put evidence, the evidence may indicate, or available evidence suggests that. So qualify, or you can also limit your statement if you don't want to come off too strongly, or you are, or if you wanted to tone down on the strength of the sentence. So we call this hedges. Okay, but that is not for a different day. Let's move on. Okay, and let's evaluate on the effectiveness of cause and effect essay. Okay, so we consider what are the causes, what are the effects, which should be emphasized, are there single or multiple causes and then one effect, or are there single effects or multiple effects? Is there a chain reaction? I use the term snowball because one thing leads to another. You know how the snowball is created, like it started small and then the ball rolls. So yeah, that's why we call it like snowball effect. Chain reaction works as well, but I like snowball better. Anywho, the cause, okay, can make a thing happen, and effects is what results when that thing happens. And for the lecture session today, I'd like for you to be able to clarify between cause and effect, because when it comes to writing is writing the introduction, writing the body paragraphs, and also writing the conclusion. And the manner in which when we write and the content that we want to put must be organized and it should be clarified. Because if you do not clarify, if you don't organize your content, we can read the essay, but we wouldn't be understanding it, or instead of feeling enlightened after reading, we felt even more confused. Okay, so make sure that when you do your brainstorming, create from the get-go the table. On the left, causes. On the right, the effects. The cause, effect, directly link them. If you want to add another column, evidence. Or if you want to put evidence for each of the causes and each of the effects, also doable. Okay. And make sure that this organizing should be helping you to write good essays. You do not have to think of an infinity amount of numbers of effects and also causes. Limit yourself to just three causes and also three effects. So they come together, right? So like I said, cause effect, and also cause effects. And then introduce to us to the topic by the introductory paragraph with a thesis statement, followed by a conclusion. So this is like one example, but I think the formatting goes a little bit haywire. There should be 5 paragraphs here, but when I set it to the full screen, somehow the paragraph disappeared. But regardless, you may create the paragraphing, but just refer to the slideshow notes that is downloadable from our Google Classroom. So check on that version. Yeah, this is absolutely not good for reading, right? Now, let's do some of examples of the question. Okay, and these are some of the following topics, and we can write about cause and effects paragraph. All right, number one is quite a little bit on the controversial side, but quite fun. Okay, so let's say we wanted to write about cause and effects when we talk about Paris Hilton. Okay, someone who used to be like very, very popular. Okay, but people argued that she has minimal talent and look. But that's, once again, opinion. All right, so opinion is not accounted for a fact. So just discuss. Or what is one cause of weight gain? Or why do women, despite their frequent denials, love macho men? Okay. Also, things that are debatable, something that you can go for the cause or effect, whether you agree or disagree. Whether it is preferable to marry someone of your own ethnicity or religion, or why hasn't soccer, football, the world's most popular sport, caught on in Canada? Right? They go for if I'm not wrong, ice hockey and also American football. Right? And then we talk about why does flattery, puji-pujian, why does flattery work even when the person being flattered knows that it's not truly flattery, but we still feel flattered. Okay. Also reasons why men and women cheat. Or even though it's fake, why is professional wrestling so popular? I mean, everything is scripted. And it is also like set to know variety shows that we enjoy watching. They are also actually scripted, right? So from all of this topic, let's do a light one. Okay, so you can choose any one of the topics. Okay, I will set the questions in our Google Classroom. Okay, so you don't have to write all of the essays, just choose one to talk about cause and effects. Okay, and if let's say you wanted to write cause and effects of something else and you wanted to propose a question, tell me and then I will allow you. So I'd like to see a first attempt at essay writing for cause and effect essay. Okay, hold on. All right, so general template, Okay, by the manners of paragraphing, I will say that for the introduction, this is one paragraph. The idea one would be another paragraph, body paragraph. Idea number two, another paragraph. Idea number three is the other paragraph, and conclusion is another paragraph. So in total, you should be writing 5 paragraphs. So supporting details, ideas, they are together in a tandem. So idea one and the supporting details. I also used the word evidence just now. So the supporting details are actually the evidence or the explanation. As long as you have 3 different ideas for the body paragraph, you are good to go. Okay, this is the flow, 5 paragraph essays. Hold on, let me clear all the drawings first. And that is all for the cause and also effects essay. Link to this lecture session will be informed in Google Classroom. Thank you very much for your attention and have a great day ahead.